There's a scripture in my favorite book that says, in all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. At this point in where we are in the coronavirus, they're saying that every minute or 2 minutes someone dies from this coronavirus. It shows you how fragile life is. In all things, give thanks. And what I thought about yesterday, life hit me in the stomach. My oldest son called me in and he said, Dad, I'm the one that's going to have to tell you. And I said, what is it? My sister Serena, we believe that she has the virus. Let me tell you, I was like a little kid. I started crying immediately. You ever had a call that you didn't expect to hear what you heard on the other end? I wasn't prepared to hear that. And I want to break this word up. Thanksgiving. In all things, give thanks. That we have so much to be thankful for. And we should not just have one day that we express that gratitude. When I get up each day, I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. Why? Because I believe having a spirit of gratitude is major. It's major. And every day we should be thankful. We're here because of God's grace and mercy. We are experiencing and enjoying things that we had nothing to do with our acquiring those things or being able to have those things a part of our experience. And even things that sometimes appear to be tragic. There are times we can look back and say, whoa, that didn't just happen to me, that happened for me. But it's also another place. Give, thanksgiving, thanksgiving. They have an article out today that hunger in America is surging. And so we have an opportunity not just to connect with family members and friends, but make it a priority to give. Even if we decide that we're going to help one person, one family, let this Thanksgiving be remembered for what we gave of ourselves. There was a guy on television that last year this time, his family was giving out food. And this year, his family needs food. And even that he received, he shared that. Now that's what you call the Christ-like spirit. Let that mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. That you're willing to give. This is a time to give forgiveness. A friend of mine said something that really stuck home with me. She said, the last time I saw the majority of my family members, because we've been so dysfunctional and so divided, it was at a funeral. Isn't it interesting that you can have a dispute with the family members, be angry with them, and when something happens to them, that goes out the window. Isn't that interesting? And so when we give forgiveness, when we are willing to have a bad memory, if there's a key to bringing families together, it's having a bad memory. Do you remember what you did? Yeah, but. I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to like it and share it. And if you're willing to give of yourself in this day, in this age, give of your talent, your abilities, your story to create a greater world. Evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. When you are willing to give compassion and understanding and stand in the gap for somebody that can't stand for themselves. Speak for those who are voiceless. Give hope where there's despair. Oh my goodness. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. Thanksgiving. Thank you, Lord, for putting me in the position that I can give forgiveness, understanding, love, a meal, a smile, a kind word, write a letter to someone that's been a blessing to me. Write a letter to you, thanking you for what you have done for me that I did not earn or deserve. No, it's not all about the turkey. No. It's about all being grateful. Oh, having a spirit of gratitude every day. From this day forward, if you're not doing it already. When you get up in the morning, I say all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And then I write down 7 things that I'm grateful for. 7 things that I thank God for. And I feel good. After I finish, I feel real good. You're going to feel good too. I thank God for you. I thank you for listening to this message and thank you in advance for your giving. Thanksgiving, giving, love, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, giving of yourself, helping someone. Those people who are standing on corners with signs, don't just ignore them. Surprise them and make my day. I was in New York and one of my daughters, Samaya, guy came up to the window and she gave him some money and he walked away with such a bounce in his walk. She was around 9 years old. I said, what did you give him? She said, the $50 you gave me. I said, no wonder he walking with a dip. Oh my God, he was doing, hey. Oh boy, this thing called life, it's so fascinating. It's so fascinating. We woke up this morning. It's a wonderful day, as Warren Hudson would say, the best day of your life. You don't believe it? Try missing one. Thanks. Thank you so much, Lord, for allowing me to still be here, not taking a dirt nap. Say thank you, Lord. And give of yourself. Give of your time, your love. Give forgiveness. And forgiving is not holding back in terms of, well, I'll forgive, but I won't forget. No. Forgiving is remembering without anger and revenge and guilt. It's a beautiful day that we are experiencing now, and tomorrow it's going to be great. I'll be seeing my family virtually. My computer that does not sneeze and is not asymptomatic, and it won't cough on me. Listen, are you thankful for what God has blessed you with your voice, your ability to take charge of your life, that you just haven't had the courage to use your voice to strike out and do something that's you, this talent that you have? As Dr. Miles Monroe says, rob the cemetery of your voice. Rob the cemetery. Don't take it with you. No. There's some people waiting to hear you. Rob the cemetery of your voice. There are people who need your voice. There's a frequency behind every voice. And we have a program that will teach you how to use that voice to transform audiences individually and collectively. People need hope right now more than ever before. And when there's hope in the future, that gives you power in the present. People need a voice that will help them to keep the faith, baby, because these are challenging times and people need to know no test, no testimony. Faith not tested can't be trusted. And your voice will help them to realize, stop looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light of the world. Let me pull that voice out. Let me show you how to organize those stories and create special moments and experiences with an audience and command standing ovations and make some money too, baby. Oh, behave. Hello? And have a lot of fun. Wouldn't it? I mean, just think about it. Doing something you love to do 8 hours a day at the comfort and safety of your home at the computer. Don't get better than that. Come on now. Doing something you love from home, except for the children sometimes. Don't y'all make me come back there, Tyrone. Put voice in the comment section if you are ready to answer the call on your life. Job is what you get paid for. The calling is what you're made for. Allow me to be your mentor. It's no accident that you're watching me right now. You hear me in your heart. You know it's time. It's time. And pray for my daughter and my son-in-law, the greatest son-in-law in the world. Pray for them. I'm believing God that they're going to be just fine. But when I first heard it, it was a punch in the gut. And I heard these words, faith not tested can't be trusted. This is a test. Why are you crying? This is a test. Get yourself together and let her hear your voice and know that you're not afraid, that you know that she's going to, and he's going to get through this.
I want you to look at something right now. Think of some major goal you want, or maybe it's one you're already working on and you have experienced a lot of setbacks, a lot of defeats. You've experienced a lot of disappointment. Maybe you've already given up. And maybe you just need a little fire, a little encouragement to get back in the game again. Here's what I want you to look at. There are winners, and there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. And all they need is some coaching. All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy, a plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them, that will give them access to the unlimited power that they have within themselves. That's all that they need. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power. And I don't even want you to say, I can do that. I don't want you to assume that. See, 5 years ago when I started out in this area, I would not have been able to make the mental leap that I would be up to where I am right now. I don't want you to begin to just psych yourself out. No. I want you to be able to say something to yourself that will enable you to maintain a level of integrity with yourself. That when you say this, even when you face tremendous setbacks, it will be a benchmark to keep you in the game, to keep you moving forward and experimenting and readjusting your strategy and your plan of action, continuously looking for ways to win. So what is that something? When you got an idea you want to move on, you might not have the money, you might not have the education, you might not have the support or the resources you need. What is that something that can keep us going, that will enable us to act on our dream? What's one of those keys that will begin to help us to discover the secrets to our dream? Here's what I want you to repeat after me, please, with power and conviction. Say, it's possible. That's all I want you to do when you look at your dream. Just say to yourself every day, it's possible. Just say that every day to yourself, it's possible. Because what does that do? See, it begins to change your belief system. See, the way in which we operate, ladies and gentlemen, it's a manifestation of what we believe, what's possible for us. Whatever you've done up to this point, all that it really is a duplication, it's a reproduction of what you believe subconsciously that you deserve and what's possible for your life. Most people operate out of their personal history, out of their memory, things they have done, things they've experienced, things they've seen, things that they have observed. What I'm suggesting that you operate out of a larger vision of yourself. I want you to see yourself doing what you want to do, experiencing what you want to experience, having what you want to have, doing what it is that gives your life some meaning and value. Operate out of your imagination, not your memory. Because whenever you look at where you want to go, I'm wanting to warn you, you will have some conversation back here after you go through the data that you've experienced in life saying you can't do it. And so what you want to begin to do is ignore that inner conversation. Well, most people, ladies and gentlemen, when something happens to them, what they do is they begin to believe that that's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. And they can't see the possibility of it being any different. Example, before April 1954, the common belief, the universal belief, because it had been tried again and again and again and people had failed, the belief was that man was not physically capable of breaking the 4-minute barrier, that he could not run a mile in less than 4 minutes. That was the belief on the planet. It had never been done. But here's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. Roger Bannister came along, and he broke the 4-minute barrier. Now here's what's significant about that. Since that time, up to this day, over 20,000 people have done it, including high school kids. What changed? 20,000 people, what changed? Here's what happened when they got on the track. They knew it had been done. And because they knew it had been done, there was a new belief about this barrier, about this goal that was unreachable. And those 20,000 people got in a race believing, knowing in their heart that someone had done it, that it's possible, that they could do it. And I'm saying that if you know anybody that had some goal, some dream, something they wanted to do, and they did it, then I'm saying that you know in your heart that if someone has done it, then you can do it. It's possible. And that if someone can make their dream become a reality, that it's possible that you can make your dream become reality. And so as you begin to look at where you want to go, beginning to embrace that, it's possible. I'm blessed and highly favored. I've got a lot going for me. I got some good stuff in me. And it's possible that I can bring my greatness out here in the universe. That I can do what I want to do. It's possible I can write my own book. I can have my own business. I can take the trip and travel around the world. It's possible. I can bounce back from adversity and reinvent my life. It's possible. Regardless of where I am, that things can get better for me. It's possible. I'm thinking about two men right here in Chicago who are fairly successful, similar background, educated. They worked for a corporation for many years, and they were among many people that were laid off. Two guys who were very good friends. One went out looking for a job for several weeks along with the other one, and they faced disappointment and rejection again and again and again. They couldn't find any work, which is the story of many people across this country. One guy stopped. He became discouraged. He stopped going. He stayed home looking at television, became very argumentative and toxic with his wife, drinking beer, getting on the phone, talking to his other negative, unemployed friends. And he just gave up. The other guy kept looking for a job everywhere he could go. Every time he could get an opportunity, kept asking people. networking, checking the newspapers every day. Kept going everywhere he could, trying to find a job. You have too much education. You're overqualified. You won't be here long enough. He kept going. He kept going. He went to a place and said, look here, I tell you what, if you can't hire me, and I know you can use my talents, abilities, and skills, I don't want to sit home and do nothing. Just let me do some volunteer work. You don't have to give me anything, all right? I just want to work. I want to be busy. Guy said, okay, it's on you now, but don't expect me to give you anything. It's okay. This guy came in and worked. He was the first one there. The last one to leave was the best employee there. About 4 weeks later, one of the top managers quit. They were looking for a replacement. Guess who they selected? This other guy. This guy who was volunteering his time. He got the job. What was the difference between the two men? Eyesight and mindsight. Eyesight is judging on what you see, judging according to appearances. But mindsight is how you interpret what you see. One guy said, it's not possible, it's over, I'm finished. I can't do it. I can't make it. He surrendered. I've faced rejection again and again. I'm not going anymore. There are no jobs out there. But this other guy, he felt that in spite of the no's and rejections, in spite of how bad the economy is, in spite of what the newspapers are saying, that it's possible that somebody somewhere will give me a job. He just kept going, thinking it was possible. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we have to do with our dreams. Because things happen to you in life that you can never, ever anticipate. And many times when those things happen, you want to give up. I remember when I was in broadcasting, when I was a disc jockey, I became very controversial, not only being a disc jockey, but I felt that radio was something that you not only entertain people with, but you also empower them, you educate them. And I got fired. I didn't just leave, they fired me. That was a shock. I said, wait a minute. They took my microphone. I thought that was who I was. No, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't. I had to do something else. And I didn't know what else I could do. See, here's what I'm looking at. What are the uses for your life right now that you haven't even reached for yet? See, I believe that when you don't have enough encouragement to act on your dreams or ideas, or you're not enlightened enough, that life will act on you. See, life had moved on me and said, Les Brown, you have outgrown this. It's time for you to do something else. Well, I wasn't enlightened enough. I organized some disc jockeys and got my job back. So they had to fire me again. I got fired twice. Here's what I did. I had to think of something else. And so a guy suggested to me, he said, Les, why don't you run for office? I said, man, I've never run for office. I've never known anything about how to operate in the political arena. I've heard encourage people to register to vote and get out to vote, but I don't know anything about politics. He said, neither do the people who run for office all the time. So I ran. Now here's what I'm suggesting. I ran. You got to do what you can where you are with what you have. I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything about the political process. I didn't even have any support. But here's what the guy told me. It's possible you could win. That's all I had. I was running against an endorsed candidate. He was an incumbent. He had the newspaper support, all of the leadership in the community, and I was challenging this guy. So I had a saying when I was on radio, stand up for what you believe in because you can fall for anything. And I would go door to door. I have my kids on one side of the street. I would be on the other, and I'd knock on doors. Hello, my name is Les Brown. Tell everybody I'm still standing. They get on the phone. Child, Les Brown was to my house today. You know the boy on the radio with the big mouth? Yeah, they fired him, honey. Say he's still standing. See, I'm saying just keep moving. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. Don't spend time blaming and talking about what happened to you. See, whatever you talk about, that's what you multiply and expand in your life experience. So don't talk about stuff unless you want it to keep on happening to you, all right? So I got in that kind of action. As I continue to do that, had my children with me, were going door to door, didn't have enough money. Eventually, we got close to the election and something happened that really surprised me. Guys who I thought were going to either support me or stay out of it, various powerful community leaders, they became involved in it and they endorsed my opponent. I felt devastated. Now that's going to happen to you when you're working on your dream. Things are going to happen that's going to catch you on the blind side. That was shocking to me. They didn't have to do that. All they had to do was just stay out of it. But here they go, come up in there messing with me. Now that's going to happen. There's some people who believe it's their personal business to stop you from living your dream, all right? But I didn't deal with that. You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. I just kept on doing what I was supposed to do. And so I was driving to the radio station. My opponent had over $20,000. I had less than $800. As I was in the radio station, the guy said, "You're going to make a commercial?" I said, "Yes." He said, "It better be a good one because that money can't go pretty far here." And I sat there in the middle control room and I was thinking. And here's what happens when you get still. Stuff will start coming. Something said, "Call your mama." You used to talk about your mother on the air all the time. Ask her to say a few words for you. That'll be a different kind of political spot. So I called my mama. And I had a gospel record playing in the background. And then I had my mother say, "Hello, this is Mrs. Mamie Brown. When I raised my sons, I raised them to be good children. When they got out of hand, I beat their behind and made them go right. Please vote for my son. He's a good boy." Usually in the state representative race, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people will come out to vote in a primary. In that primary race, over 27,000 people came out and voted and said, "I'm voting for Les Brown because his mama said he's a good boy." I won, ladies and gentlemen. I won. So you've got to be willing to stay focused, to be creative, to be relentless, because things are going to happen to you when you're working on your dream, when you get on track. I remember when I first got involved in speaking, one of the main things that speakers like to do is speak to a certain association that they have over 10,000 of their sales reps that come to this convention. And I was relentless. I kept saying, "It's possible. It's possible." See, what I want to let you know and set you up for, because you said it's possible, don't mean that you're not going to have any problems. That Murphy's Law ain't going to come and slap you side the head. Oh, Murphy going to come visit you. He's waiting for some of y'all out in the parking lot. Oh, you say it's possible. Okay, it's possible. You better get up. Well, I was working. I kept saying it's possible. They got other speakers on this program. I can be on that program too. I kept selling myself. I got all fired up. And I was calling them every day, every day. And the lady finally said, "Mr. Brown, I tell you what, we want you to come in and talk to our sales executives. You got the kind of fire and guts that they want, that will motivate them. And let me tell you something else. We want you to bring your motivational tapes. You're going to need at least $50,000 worth of tapes." I said, "Is that right?" "Yes, because they want to keep that drive alive." I said, "All right." I called the guy who duplicated my tapes. I said, "Don, how you doing? This is Les. Let me tell you, I got a major speaking engagement." I said, "Man, it's a speaker's dream. I need over $50,000 worth of product." He said, "Les, you don't have that kind of credit." I said, "I know, but Don, I can sell that. Just right after speaking engagement, I'll give you your money in 4 days." He said, "Are you sure, Les?" I said, "Yes, man, I got a major speaking engagement, and they told me to do it." He said, "Man, that's a big order. Let me talk with the lady with you." I said, "Hold on just a minute, man." Call the lady back. "Hello, Evelyn, how you doing? This is Les Brown. I got Don on the phone. What did you say? Do I have the speaking engagement?" "Yes, you do." And what else you suggest? Les, our people, they buy a lot of tapes. Your tapes are very popular among them. I'm saying bring at least $50,000 worth of tapes, Les. You'll sell everything you got and more. I said, "Did you hear that, Don?" He said, yes. I said, now, if anybody else has to make a decision, are you the final person? She said, I'm the final person. I will send you the contract. I want you. I said, you hear that, Don? He said, yes. I said, oh, ye of little faith. I said, duplicate the tapes, man. Hung the phone up. Well, he duplicated the tapes. 1 week came by. I'm checking the mail every day. No contract. I said, come on, Murphy, don't start nothing, man. Come on. Come on, man, give me a break. Come on, you know, this ain't fair. Come on, man. Give your boy a break. Come on. I talked to myself, you know. I didn't want to call him right now. 2 weeks passed by. Murphy said, don't you think you ought to call him? I said, okay. I called, I said, hello, this is Les Brown calling. How you doing, Les? I said, fine. I said, Evelyn hasn't sent my contract out yet. Any additional information you need? So, Les, you haven't heard? I said, no. I said, Evelyn died. I said, she died? I said, did she say anything about me? When I got home, I was so wiped out. And Murphy was in the house waiting on me. Murphy said, is it possible you want to listen to some of your tapes? But ladies and gentlemen, here's what I had to do. I had to begin to focus on what was the solution. That this was not the only place that I'll be able to sell those products. And as I began to challenge myself and got some help and support and some other input, I eventually did. It took longer, but it was challenging. But I did it. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is, or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got that right. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. I can have my dream. I can get what I want. I must be creative and never give up.
It seems like you've always had, like, for example, when Mr. Washington was speaking to the group of seniors and you weren't supposed to be in the room, but you were in there anyway, you know?
Yes.
And then the radio opportunity, first opportunity, Les Brown is, I'm coming on the air, right?
Yes.
You've always had this, it appears that you've always had this inner confidence where you believed in yourself when no one else did. If there's going to be a one, Les is going to be the one, you know? And you went up to Mr. Washington in the parking lot. I'm the one, Mr. Washington. Remember my name.
Yes.
Where's that come from, man? I love hearing it.
That comes from watching my mother. My mother, she only had a third grade education, but she always wanted to share her life with kids. She didn't have any kids herself. And I remember she was getting ready to go to work, and I used to rub her ankles because she had arthritis. And she would say, Arthur's bothering me. And I said, Mama, what's Arthur? She said, don't worry, son, you live long enough, you'll find out who Arthur is. She was right. I know, at 76, okay? And my mother used to go to work hurt, knees swollen from arthritis, ankles swollen. She was unstoppable. She was a person that made things happen, a no matter what person. That's who those 8%ers are.
That's right.
I got a certain number that I'm going to hit no matter what. No matter how many no's I get, no matter the state of the economy, no matter what. It's my own personal commitment and what I feel that represents who I am as a person. And that's why self-development is so very important now more than ever for mental resolve, because things are happening to all of us over this year. All of us will experience at least 3 tragedies. Something will happen to us personally, and something is going to happen to someone we care about. So mental resolve is very important. Next thing is the willingness to continue to sharpen your skills. Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 6 hours to chop a tree down, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening my axe. Sharpening your skills, upgrading your skills, always willing to get better. If you're not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you're willing to learn, because this is a new place where we are, you have to throw your net on the other side. And people are fearful. This is the attention economy. And so you've got to be able to capture that attention, hold that attention, and ignite it to create that thirst, that want to. There's the old saying, you take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. But if you know how to communicate effectively, virtually, you create a thirst where they want to drink. Right. And so the other thing that's important is creating collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. The people that you communicate with most, you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest associates. And so part of what we must do and be mindful of, to look at our relationships periodically and ask, what is this relationship doing to me? If I was in the 92%, I'll be following that 8% to find out what they're doing. Why? Sidney Poitier wrote a book called The Measure of a Man. He said, when you go for a walk with someone, something happens without being spoken. Either you adjust to their pace or they adjust to your pace. Whose pace have you adjusted to? So the 92% got to understand and know this 8%, they are an example of what's possible for them, not an exception. Success leaves clues. And so when I decided to come into this industry, one, I wanted to learn everything that I could. Two, I wanted to learn how to make myself stand out. The industry has been governed by the Dale Carnegie course. Tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. No, my mentor said, Brownie, never let what you want to say get in the way of what your clients want to hear. They were going around giving information from Think and Grow Rich. If information could change people, everybody would be skinny, rich, and happy. Use your story to distract, dispute, and inspire. When you just give people information, that infects and impacts 2 areas of the brain. But when you use a story strategically to create a significant emotional event, that impacts 5 areas of the brain and the chemistry that people feel when they are in love. Because we're emotional people.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes, I can't wait to get to an audience. I love what I do and I live the life that I love. Talking to you, you are so much fun. Yes.
Thank you so much, buddy. You've been unbelievable. We're getting really close to about 33, 34 minutes. I want to be very respectful of your time, as it is extremely valuable, and we are gracious to have you today. I'd love for you, in closing, you could leave one thing to those that are currently a part of the 92%, but man, they want to be a part of the 8%. What would Mr. Les Brown leave with them?
You have something special. You have greatness in you. You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And commit yourself to bet on you. Commit yourself to reach beyond your comfort zone. There's power in pursuit, because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. Rob the cemetery of your greatness. You have greatness in you. That's my story.
and I'm sticking to it.
There we go. I love it.
You talked about live your life like you want to leave your life, and I think it's so amazing. How should we be thinking about things like purpose? How should we think about purpose?
One of the things that I think that people should do is to experiment with your life. There are things that we can do that we don't even know. But when you're in a culture where you have been socialized and domesticated to have a mindset of being employed, when in reality, we're made in the likeness and image of God, and we were created to have authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. So we weren't sent here and chosen out of 400 million sperm to be employed. We were deployed by God to come and push humanity forward and make it better than how we showed up. And so most people, in order to exercise authority and dominion over your life, you have to exercise authority and dominion over what you are not. We've been living a lie. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. So people coming out there will have an expanded vision of themselves beyond their culture and beyond their mental conditioning, and allow them to get out of their head, to step into their greatness and live out the words, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic.
It's a scripture that when I first heard it and read it, I just said, "Oh boy, that's cold-blooded." I couldn't wrap my mind around it. It didn't have any compassion in it. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has, shall be taken away. Oh my God. You say, he that hath, the person who hath, they will get, and the person who don't have, even that little bit they have, shall be taken away. That doesn't seem right. But there's a question. He that hath what? Vision. People without vision perish. Ambition, drive, a willingness to work, stubbornness, perseverance, faith that roars so loudly it doesn't give you an opportunity to hear the doubts that you have within yourself. You have those qualities, you will get. You have those qualities, you restore everything you lost and more. You have those qualities, angels will make room for you. Come. Let's intervene here, because he won't quit, she won't stop. We've done everything and they won't stop. Come, we got to intervene now. And then let's go find a wimp, somebody who's stopped, somebody who's allowing themselves to be consumed by fear. It's weak. Yeah, because God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power. They ain't got no power. They're consumed in fear. And they can't even think straight. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of a sound mind. This place where you are, where I am, this place, we've been picked out to be picked on. This place, we are more than conquerors. This place is a testimony, no test, no testimony. This place, no guts, no glory. This place, faith not tested can't be trusted. This faith will find a way. Yeah. We need to know that. We need to saturate ourselves with words that will empower us right now. Our children are watching. Our children are not okay. There's an article, Google it. Our kids are not okay. The suicide rate among children, teenagers, and younger is soaring because they're watching us. See, how we live our lives, Jim Rohn said this, how we live our lives, it can be a warning or an example. Did you hear me? How we live our lives, our children are watching. It will be a warning or an example. A warning of what not to do or an example of what to do when tragedy and interruptions and crises show up. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that having done all to stand. This is our time to stand. This is our time to be actively engaged in this thing called life. Our children are watching us. There are generations yet unborn that are depending on us. There are people who gave their lives, like a John Lewis said, create some good trouble. It's our time. It's our time. You have something special. God is on your side. If God is for you, who can be against you? You got a winning team. I'm looking for, and I'm on a mission for people who can hear me. If at some point in time when you're a little kid or a grown person, you're going through some stuff and you heard my voice. And the reason you heard it, because what's in me is also in you. And the reason you responded and came out of the darkness into the light, because there's a calling on you to do the same thing. You and I are cut from the same cloth. You're branches of the same tree. If my message and my method and my approach resonates with you, I'm not talking about my hairstyle. My kid didn't play hairstyle and I'm kid, no. I'm talking about my message. And you have a message in you. You have a story in you. You would like to help people, the millions of people who need to hear a multitude of voices. I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section. And allow us to introduce you to the Power Voice system that teaches you how to tell your story, that teach you how to create an experience with your voice and your story, to transform people individually and collectively. Allow me to mentor and to coach you to bring out the greatness in yourself and to bring out the greatness in others. If that's your calling, I love to tell you, and I will always remind you, a job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. If it's your calling, put voice in the comment section. If you can hear me in your heart, I'm not challenging your ability to hear with your ears, because you wouldn't still be here with me. I don't have any prints translating my words. So if you're still here, the only reason you're listening, because what's in me, it's in you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. It's time to make a decision. Put voice in the comment section. We don't know how much time we have left, do we? Michael Jackson said, "This is it." And it was. Okay.
Put voice in the comment section. Live each day as it were your last. Because what we learned from the coronavirus, one day it will be. Toby Gadsden, we graduated together at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, 1963. Wow. Classmate had COVID-19 and he kicked COVID's butt. Toby, I'm so happy for you, brother. So happy. Prayed hard for you, but you always been a fighter since we were in high school. Boy, I tell you, you and Larry Littles, who played for the Miami Dolphins, boy, we went to school. We would miss school because we were characters. We were always clowning. We always wanted to know, what will we do next? We came to see each other for cafeteria and physical education. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, that's back in the day. I hear young people today, these millennials, talking about back in the day. They don't know anything about back in the day. I got t-shirts older than them. But at 75, my goal is to finish strong. At 75, my goal is to train the best speakers on the planet. At 75, my goal is to find people who are hungry to make an impact with their lives, who are hungry to learn how to use and access their power voice, who are hungry to live a life that will outlive them. Yeah, you forget your years will forget you. And I want to leave this with you. As you look at your goals, be stubborn about your goals. Be stubborn. Don't give up on your goals. You will fail your way to success. Don't give up on your goal. Know your vitamin, as Suzanne de Pass would say. Don't give up on your goal. Be stubborn about your goals. Be flexible and versatile. Ask for help. A lot of people won't do that because of ego edging God out, because a lot of people, as a result of pride cometh before a fall. Ask for help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. You don't have to figure it out. Get started. Do what you can with what you have, and God will do what you can't.